This part continues the story of my journey through darkness and the mercy that delivered me. On the 10th day after my 9-day dry fast, I returned to the river to fulfill the conditions for marrying the mermaid named Helen. At around 1 a.m., I performed incantations invoking the great ladies of the sea. Soon, a mermaid appeared and instructed me to follow her. She was to lead me into the world of Polyon, a mystical realm under Satan's dominion. I entered the river physically not in a vision or trance, but with my actual body. At the riverbed, I encountered a large crocodile. This creature was my transportation to the world of Polyon. It opened its mouth and I stepped inside. After a while, it dropped me off on a beautifully paved road, far superior to the roads of this world. The devil's world is eerily beautiful, but there is a place far more glorious, the home Jesus Christ has prepared for us. I saw it with my own eyes during my deliverance, and I am committed to not missing that eternal home. At the gate of this mystical world, I presented the yellow token Helen had given me. They allowed me in. A black car soon arrived. It had no visible driver's head or neck, yet it operated smoothly. I entered the vehicle, and it drove me to Helen. When I arrived, I saw 4 identical women, all with the same appearance and clothing. Helen was among them. When the others left, I approached Helen and suggested we sleep together, but surprisingly, she refused. She said, "We are not yet married. We do not have the right." That struck me deeply. Here was a demon showing more self-control than many so-called Christians. Today, many engaged believers sleep together before marriage, a clear violation of God's word. The Bible commands us to flee sexual immorality, for it carries serious consequences. I still bear a scar on my right arm, inflicted not by a human, but by Lucifer himself. He cut me, and my blood filled a chalice which he drank from in my presence. Afterward, he gave me 406 demons to serve me. My right arm became the seat of my power. I had the ability to carry Lucifer in my body. When people saw me walking, it was often Lucifer they were truly encountering. He is a great deceiver.
Well, if you haven't subscribed, you need to subscribe.
And a sexual predator. While in my body, he would lead me to hotels and women. These women thought they were with me, but in reality, they were sleeping with Lucifer. Many women have unknowingly had sexual relations with demons through Satanists like me. Sexual immorality opens doors for demonic infiltration. Helen continued visiting me every even-numbered day of the week. She gave me strict instructions, including a ban on any romantic involvement with other women. But one day at a funeral, I met a former girlfriend and spent the night with her. When I returned home, I was stunned to find that same girl already in my room. I was confused and warned her that Helen, my spiritual wife, could kill her. She said nothing at first, but then began to cry and said, "Darling, have you forgotten me?" I turned to look again, and it was no longer the girl. It was Helen. 2 days later, the girl died. Helen had killed her. I want to speak directly to young women. Be careful with your lifestyle. Many treat relationships and sex casually, changing partners like they change clothes. If you do not take this seriously, you might encounter a Satanist, and that could be the end of your life. Satanism is not something you see written on someone's forehead. It is spiritual and often hidden behind charm and false affection. After that incident, I found a letter on my table instructing me to go to India. I went to my master and explained everything. He replied, "I can do nothing for you. You must go to India to be punished. If you survive, good. If you die, too bad." That was the cold reality of serving the devil. There is no mercy, only treachery and betrayal. Following the instructions, I performed the required rituals and went to bed. Just after midnight, my house began to shake violently. Smoke descended from the roof and formed into the shape of a man. He stood within the circle I had drawn. He introduced himself as Dr. Krishna, one of the Indian deities. He said he had come to take me to India. I agreed to go, foolishly thinking I had no other choice. We were both transported into a vast temple, one of only 3 major satanic temples in the world. The first is underground in Great Britain, where Lucifer's global coordinator resides. The second is beneath the sea at the meeting point of the Atlantic and Indian Oceans, inside the Bermuda Triangle. This is known as the White House of Lucifer. The third is in India, called the Temple of Dale, where Lucifer's prime minister dwells. Aside from these main temples, there are smaller satanic houses and mystical lodges scattered around the world, in North Sea, the Rosicrucians, and others. These are tools of deception used to influence nations, including through media, books, and altered versions of the Bible. Books like Awake Watchtower, and corrupted Bible versions like the New World Translation and Bible Verbum XXL Cain are all satanic products. Inside the Indian temple, there were more than 1,000 people, including government officials. I even saw individuals connected to Mobutu's regime. Tragically, Mobutu himself is now chained in the astral world, despite his loyalty to Satan during his life. That's the fate of those who serve the devil: eternal torment and betrayal. As punishment, I was thrown into a hole 200 meters deep. It was pitch black and filled with venomous reptiles, snakes, scorpions, and other creatures whose mission was to bite and torment me. I was not allowed to cry out in pain. If I did, I would be killed instantly. I spent 5 days in that agony while my family searched for me. unaware I was trapped in a satanic prison. This temple had a giant mirror like a screen. During each meeting, the blood of 500 people had to be consumed. Satanists were required to sacrifice family members. One man I knew well, who still lives in Lakasi on Rwanda Avenue, offered up his nephew. He didn't need to provide nails, hair, or saliva, just the boy's name. The servants placed golden vases beneath the mirror, and a man with a golden sword called out the boy's name. The boy appeared on the screen bed. The sword entered the mirror and pierced his chest. Blood flowed into the vase, which was then distributed for us to drink. After the ritual, a file was created for the boy. His name, cause of death and accident, and the date 2 weeks from then were recorded. When I returned to Lakasi, the boy was alive, but exactly 2 weeks later, he was killed in a car accident, just as it had been foretold. I say again, there are people whose blood has already been drunk in the spiritual realm. They are just living out their remaining time before death strikes, as planned by Satanists in the underworld.